we are live. We are live here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube and also on Instagram. Just turn this around a bit so you get a different perspective. But again, we are back. We are live. We are ready. We are here doing our thing. Thank you for joining me here on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Yes, indeed. So, big show tonight. Don't mean to be a pun, I swear, but it's a big show tonight. We're just gonna, rock out with this here now again. I know that this man on my chest has been taking a lot of flack lately, but again, everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. He's still someone we can all consider, a genius, in my opinion. And he is just seemed to have lost his way just that little bit. But everybody is not perfect, and I know my man Kanye will get it together in due course, so I look forward to his redemption very, very, very soon. So don't worry, he is in good hands, and I hope he can seek the help he needs in order to bring himself forward and move himself forward in this day and time. And I will not stop supporting him. I will not, shy away from him. I think he's still a genius in terms of musicality, in terms of the business world. It's just that, every now and again he seems to have lost his way. But you know what? Everybody deserves second chance. He hasn't killed anybody, and he can learn from his mistakes. So again, I wish Kanye all the best, and I know he'll do well going forward, and he will prove us all wrong in due course. Now. And I'm sure redemption is in sight for him right there. So, again, turn up the light. I hope you like the new scenes. I hope you like the new scenery here at Talk Talk Live. Again, it is a little more, user-friendly for me here in terms of, I think the last show we did here, we had better reception. It was more engagement. And, again, it made it better for the viewing public. Please comment down below how you like the new look, how you like the new feel. And we're going to go from it right here. And actually, I can adjust the lighting like that. Wow. But anyways, let's get to the show. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IG, YouTube, and soon to come, Twitch. And all other listening platforms. We are looking to expand to that in 2023. But join us as we move on towards 20,000. Up to 1,000 subscribers. Let me get 1,000 first before we go on. But anyways, let's do it. Let's do it. We are live on YouTube and we are live on IG, as we can see. So let's get on to it, people. Today's show is body positivity good for you? Is it good for those who adhere to it, or is it good for anybody to whom it appeals? And again, I have mixed feelings on the subject. I feel, body positivity brings that bit of emotional support for those who are overweight, those who are fat, those who are obese. But at the end of the day, it is a case of, if indeed it serves its purpose in terms of, helping people out of their, of their plight, make them feel good about themselves, make them feel good about the skin they're in, and enhances their way of life and their self-esteem. All the power to you. But tonight we're going to discuss, I would say, the negative side of body positivity, the negative side of fat acceptance, the negative side of body neutrality. There you go. That's what I was trying to think of. So I'm just going to go to this article here. If you can see it live on YouTube, I'm just going to explain this article. And listen, I know body positivity is more or less a feminine sort of motif. It was started by, just getting back to it, we did a show on Talk Talk Live a few, it was a few months ago. Myself and Golden Arm, we did a show on body positivity then. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. And what we discussed was that body positivity even though it helps, we just went on to discuss what body positivity is, if it indeed, and really left on the note that, if it indeed helps or hurts those who love it and those who adhere to said principles. And I said, at the end of the day, it helps for self-esteem, but overall, it is a bit of a detriment. And I came to this article here on, written by, actually, a feminist blog. Yes, indeed. It's called The Feminist Current. So, again, The Feminist Current, and it basically, it was written this year, June 5th, 2022. And the title of the article is "The Body Positivity Movement Doesn't Help Women. It Lies to Them." So again, no heat, no shade. If you're into it, do it. All I can say, with all that it is, with all your might and with all that is holy, and if it helps you feel better, it helps you feel better. But at the end of the day, it is such an idea that may indeed go to your hindrance rather than to your help. And that's what it says here in this, indeed, feminist blog called The Feminist Current. Body positivity movement doesn't help women. It lies to them. Now, again, the origin of the body positive movement came from black women. Let's say that it came from black women in the 60s and early 70s who did not see their image in most, fashion magazines on Madison Avenue and on the the catwalks of Europe. And they wanted to, have a movement that allowed them to feel good in their bodies, allowed them to feel good about themselves, and would push towards acceptance of those people who tend to be overweight or obese. And again, it was body positivity, it was that way until like the early 90s, I would say the 2010s. And then the movement, as it gained traction over 30 to 40 years, as it gained traction to Madison Avenue, then it was basically taken over by the powers that be and Madison Avenue, to a point where body positivity, the shape of body positive women changed to those of overweight size, moderately overweight size, those who were of slimmer figure, of who did not look the part, of a a fat person, maybe just a slightly overweight person, ladies such as Ashley Graham. And it was a case of, it was a case where body positivity didn't stand on its original tenets. So a lot of people left that movement and moved towards body neutrality and the fat acceptance movement, which a lot of people of color have moved towards, whereby they acknowledge themselves as fat, they acknowledge themselves as being comfortable in their own skin, and not having to kowtow to any sort of Madison Avenue idea of what fat was. If you were overweight, if you were obese, if you were fat, if you were fluffy, if you were thick with 4 or 5 C's, you had a place in fat acceptance, and people it helped people love themselves, love their bodies, and basically gain that shot of self-esteem to themselves. So I mean, it was a good thing. It was a nice thing. I'm just going to adjust the lighting here, people, just in case. There we go. So it was, to them, to those, it was a very positive idea. It was a very positive thing. So that's the movement from body positivity to fat acceptance, to those 3 movements that we have today. Body positivity, more or less was once it was a fat, gay, trans idea at start, and now to finish, it is of a Madison Avenue idea of what beauty is, which is slightly overweight and not completely fat, which has made people move towards body neutrality and fat acceptance overall. So which is which is acceptance at any size, at any measure, at any weight. So that's where we're at right now. But this is definitely a ladies' movement, but they didn't ask the men about what this movement is and what it entailed. And you know what? it's and to be fair, it's not a movement that it can cater to, to men, especially those who are who are LGBTQ plus, but it tends to, if you ask about heterosexual men, it didn't exactly cater to them because heterosexual males had a different ideal. Fat was never accepted by heterosexual males, and to be fair, it was never accepted by let alone fat women, because they did not want fat males with them. I mean, it could be a part of the environment, but fat acceptance was, fat acceptance, body positivity was a movement that wished to have women of any size be accepted of men of any size. So therefore, any, especially slimmer men or men who are seen as, top of the top athletes, top individuals. I mean, you have the fat acceptance movement led by Lizzo these days, and she has, it's seen as her, her ideal mate as being a guy, the sexiest man alive, Chris Evans. You'd think it would be someone who's a little bit large, who's to her size, and who matches her in terms of her body shape, but it wasn't. It tended to be Chris Evans. She wanted, top athletes. She wanted to deal with top actors. She wanted to deal with the best of the best. And with men, it never tended. We never signed on to the movement. Never did. Never signed on to the movement. And quite simply, we were such that we were such that it was a movement that did not cater. That men didn't want to deal with, because men were seen as competitive, and we have always saw ourselves as the best of us are always fit, are always athletic, are always we always strive for symmetry, strive for muscularity, and strive for athletic prowess, which means that you have to be muscular, fit, the typical Chad, the typical Tyrone, and you're supposed to, that shows greater virility and therefore greater success with women. So, and women have basically accepted that. But the reverse is the case where, women have asked us to accept them at any size. But again, as we go through things today, that is never the case. That was never the case. I mean, men have always deemed smaller, skinnier, svelte, more athletic / more, our fitter women to be our paramours, or to be the best in class. And and especially when you have, basically succeed to a certain level of life and a certain level of fitness, whereby you've worked hard, you've got yourself into a certain financial and physical shape, you want a match of that, and that is usually not found at sizes that are 200 pounds and above. Unfortunately, to those on the fringe, so be it. But as a man climbs in terms of financial stature, we tend to like our women that much more shapely, that much more athletic, that much more fit. So, and I've always, and as I've always quoted here, fitness is one of those parameters in which women are judged by men. We don't judge you by your wallet size. We judge you by your fitness. So again, we're going to go here towards this Feminist Current article, and we're just going to jot down some of the ideas that they have here. Now, again, this is a feminist blog. This is a feminist writer here who's writing about this. And again, it leads like this. A recent report in the Wall Street Journal shows that Old Navy sales plummeted after launching the Body Quality campaign. This new approach to retail offers sizes 0 to 30 in XS to 4X for women of all styles, eliminating the designated plus size section and placed mannequins in size of 4, 12, and 18. So therefore, it was a case where, Old Navy ran with this idea and started featuring fashions to which catered to plus size women. But again, when Old Lady launched Body Calling in August 2021, his website declared fashion revolution for women. A Biz Women headline praised the retailer for upping its body positivity game. And the men, let me see. And again, they said here, Old Navy Vice President Allison Partridge said, our body quality launch is for our women's assortment. So again, it was never meant for men. Body positivity was never meant for men. It is seen as a women's movement. It is seen as a women's ideology. There you go. So as we scroll down here, though, the article goes on to what I was saying. Basically, for men, there is a focus on using nutrition, fitness, and mindset to inspire them to become their best selves. Body positivity, on the other hand, pretends to empower women while actually discouraging them from becoming their best selves, instead asking them to adopt an alternative reality. This is a reality where weight doesn't matter, encouraging health is shaming, and the gym is a discriminatory place. So things that were meant to help women overall were seen as a hindrance. So again, it's something, it's sort of this alternative reality. So things that were supposed to help were hurting. And it was body positivity, body neutrality, a fat acceptance ideal that we turn these agents of help to agents of hurt. And it was seen as a discriminatory place, as it says here. So again, but again, as I was saying before, men never saw this movement catering to us. It definitely wasn't a place where we felt accepted, where we felt wanted, and something that we never needed, really, because again, the best men we understand as being males is to be their fittest, strongest, best. So men have always strived to be. We have always dealt with the fact that if you're fat, you are how should we say this? You are deficient in a certain way. You are lacking in a certain way, and it is up to us to turn ourselves around to make ourselves the fittest and strongest that we can be. All barring the fact that we don't take part in the steroid generation that hurts us overall anyway and limits our life period. But again, that's beside the story. So we have to so again, we always knew this was a ladies' movement, but with that ideal, men understood that if I worked myself to a certain level of fitness, to a level in which, take me for instance, I try to, I'm not exactly, Brad Pitt out there, but I try to make myself as physically active as possible. People who know me know that I am a regular gym attendant, usually get there 4 to 5 days a week. Usually I'm running about 6 to 7 miles per week on a regular basis. I try to strive for 10. I try to strive for a half marathon per week. And it is something, and that helps with our self-esteem, that helps with our vitality, and makes us more appealing to women. We all knew that. We all know that. But again, for women to turn around and say to us, no, you should accept us at any size or in any state, that doesn't usually attune to men. It never did attune to men. I mean, this whole body positivity thing wasn't born from men. If you adhere to such an ideal, all the power to you. But most men wouldn't. They definitely couldn't. They definitely do not, as is pointed out here in this article. Though there is an ugly history of advertisement, media, and entertainment industries making women feel insecure, body positivity is an overcorrection. The movement insults women by treating them like they're too fragile to receive health advice or set up high expectations for themselves. Even worse, body positivity puts women's health at risk. Yes. Let me read that last sentence again. The movement insults women by treating them like they're too fragile to receive health advice or set high expectations for themselves. So basically, it limits their abilities. It's more of a disability than ability. Again, this is coming from a feminist magazine. You can look it up yourself. The Feminist Current. That was written just this June, this year. So basically, the movement insults women by treating them like they're too fragile to receive health advice or set up high expectations for themselves. Even worse, body positivity puts women at risk. It's ladies, it's a movement. If you adhere to it, it's a free country. Do so, but at the end of the day, it's a movement that hinders you rather than helps you. It leads to it leads to a lower fitness ideal than a higher one. It doesn't help you become your best. Well, body positivity says that is your best self, that you love yourself. But at the end of the day, and as we will find out later, medically, it doesn't do anything for you. It's sort of a placebo. Think about it that way. It's a placebo. It's an idea that, makes you feel good, puts endorphins in your brain, helps your self-esteem, yes, but does it help your health? No. Does it help you reach the pinnacle of yourself? No. Not really. It makes you, it coddles you. Let's say that. Body positivity is a coddler. Body positivity is an enabling movement. It's an enabling movement. Now, again, if you love enabling movements, all the power to you. Who am I to stop? But to men, that's what it is. To men, that's what it is. If you want the honest truth, we'll tell you the honest truth. To men, it's an enabling movement, and we never subscribe to it. Never did. On the fringe, yes, of course, there are certain men who, there are certain, outliers out there who would indeed subscribe to said ideology, who like the women that way. But for the most part, most men, 80 and 90% of us, don't like it. We never subscribe to it. We see it as more a hindrance than a help to you. So the article moves on. But again, and as I said here, body positivity originated in feminist movements aiming to combat negative treatment of fat people, particularly women who face inordinate pressure to stay thin and are treated as repulsive, bad, or simply invisible if they get fat. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, again, one organization, the Fat Underground, called medical weight loss treatment a form of oppression. These women treated oppression of fat people by employers, and these women treated the oppression of fat people by employers and the fashion industry, the medical establishment, and others as a civil rights issue. The radical therapy movement inspired what they called fat acceptance. There you go, and that's the final form of body positivity. Its practitioners mobilizing to change social norms, including the idea that there's something wrong with fat people. In terms of thinking, nothing's wrong with fat people. Some of the smartest people in the world are fat people. Let's face facts. But in terms of your health, and I know that there is indeed something, there is a deficiency with fat people. There is something that will limit that eventually, as medical evidence and empirical evidence proves, it limits your life overall. If you're 300 pounds and above, you are limiting your life by decades. And we all know this. So as much as and as happy as you feel, it's not medically feasible to live a long life. It isn't. It simply is not. It isn't. And if you won't find a doctor in the world who will tell you different. You won't. You'll find a doctor who will help you, who will ease you down your path towards, eventual death over time. But in terms of telling you, you can stay the size you are, and you'll live a long and happy life. You won't. You won't. You will not live a long life. Let's say that. You may live a happy life, eating what you want and doing as you please, but at the end of the day, the fleas come with the dog, guys. The fleas come with the dog, and the dog is not a long living one. Definitely not a long living one. Okay, it goes on to how people are picketing from the White House, and again, it tells you again here, the movement is overwhelmingly female, and fair enough, women could use the help. There's a self-esteem gap between the sexes, a difference some studies attribute to Western culture's emphasis on the appearance of women and girls. Body positivity activists don't just give pep talks, they ask companies to get rid of unrealistic beauty standards. Let me read that point again. They ask companies to get rid of unrealistic beauty standards and use women who look like them in marketing campaigns. So basically, they're asking Madison Avenue to normalize overweight, fat women. Consider them a part of society. Encourage people, to a great extent, encourage people to love yourselves at a higher size. There it is. Love yourself at a higher size. Despite the medical data, despite what usually happens to bigger people over time, despite the fact that you will limit your life, despite the fact that most men do not accept women of that certain size, they don't. And the fact that women of that size, if they're, for the most part liked at all, they're fetishized. They're seen as sexual objects for a time, but not over a long time. They're not seen as marriageable for a long period of time. That's why they agree to a certain niche market, but it's not mainstream. It's never seen as mainstream. So, meanwhile, again, just continuing, the movement recognizes the real harm done by advertising that targets women, making them feel inadequate and hyper-focused on flaws which are often invented by the industry itself. So works to counter messages selling wrinkle-free skin, a slimmer body, or straightened hair. So everything that that nature has basically forward and basically that nature has advocated for, that we have been taught over time, over centuries, that the slimmer you are and the more healthy you are and the more attractive you are to men, such as having wrinkle-free skin, having a slimmer body, straightening hair, is a bad thing, and that should change. Now, again, that if that's the case, then we're going towards an existence where the majority of women will tend to be overweight. And men never signed on to that. And then we're going to get into that a little later, what it leads to, but I'll discuss that a little later as to what the consequences of such an ideal are. Now, again, if you wish to be big, if you wish to live a lifestyle in which you are overweight and loving it, hey, have at it. Who am I to judge? Who am I to come at you, and shame you and body shame you in any way, shape, or form? You're there to live your life. But I'm just telling you what men want for the most part. What men want. And how that is not good for you. And, in addition to health issues that come with being obese, overweight, and the like. So let's move on. Again, they go on to discuss how men's heroes tend to be, David Goggins, a man who was fat, who made himself fit. If you ever had a look at David Goggins himself, let me see if I can pull him up here. David Goggins, but he's a motivational speaker. He was a Navy SEAL for a time there, and he basically was well overweight. I think it was up to about 300 pounds, and made himself into a a fitness guru and one of the great endurance runners of our time. Now, again, and that forced him. There he is, David Goggins himself here. He's as he says here, from ultra marathons to Guinness World Records, David Goggins is considered by many one of the world's best ultra endurance athletes. And this guy was big, as you can see over here on Talk Talk Live. This man was a bigger man. He was. Oh, we got Kareem say, "What's up, bro?" Oh, there you go. Kareem is here. Yes, indeed. No, we're good. Yes, open a web browser. Yes, indeed. I just want to say hello to Kareem here. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on YouTube. What's up, Kareem? How are you? We are back here. We are live. And again, like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let us continue. Hello, 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 hello. I'm going to have to get that YouTube thing set up there. But Kareem, hello, how are you? Keep the comments coming. I will see them here. And we will continue. Now, that's David Goggins. That is our symbol of masculinity, of virility, of a man who overcame the odds. See, that's the difference between, I think, men and women in these cases. I mean, when men are very okay with seeing ourselves as deficient if we tend to be larger. I was okay with it. I was a fat kid. I was, moving on to a fat adult until I said to myself, I want to make a change. And I made that change. I made that lifestyle change, and I did not see being fat as being acceptable / being the pinnacle of manhood. Never did. So, see me as an example here, right? It's a case of, with David Goggins, it's a case of, he said the same thing. He saw himself at about 300 plus pounds. He needed a change. He needed to make a difference in his life. If he wanted to be accepted by not only men, but women as well, because women don't, listen, despite the fact there's body positivity around, they don't see the pinnacle of men as being fat men. Let's say that. They don't see they've never seen the pinnacle of men being fat men. Even fat women don't see the pinnacle of men as being fat men. Lizzo said it all the time. She said it all the time. She doesn't want a fat guy. She wants a athletic, strong male. And we've taken it upon ourselves that. But again, for women to ask men ask men at Madison Avenue and the wider general public to accept them as they are, fine, all well and good. But to say that they are the pinnacle of womanhood is a fallacy. It always has been a fallacy. It always has been. We can't get away from that point. We can never get away from that point. Men, for the most part, 90% of men will not see bigger women, larger boned women as being the pinnacle of womanhood. We never have, unless you like that sort of thing. But even though those are on the fringes, they're always on the fringe. Always on the outskirts. That's not the majority of men. You know that. Ladies, you know this. So, what can I say? I mean, I'm not going to appeal to women in this way, shape, or form. But again, you use a reciprocal. You say to yourself, what is the pinnacle of manhood for ladies of all sizes? And they'll all say Chippendale dancers. They'll all say athletes. They'll all say movie stars. And they're usually, most movie stars, especially more acceptable ones, especially the sexy men alive, are fit. They are fit, ladies. So, despite how you want to spin it, you still want a fitter guy at the end of the day. All women do. That is the top 20%. That's part of the top 20%. Those are the Chads. Those are the Tyrones. So for you to ask us to accept you at your weight, well, it may cater to a small percentage, but it's not going to cater to everyone. Let's continue with the article here. Let me see. Oh, man, where's my drink? Oh, shoot. I haven't had a drink in ages. My goodness. Now, again, this is unhealthy. I know this is unhealthy. Oh, Crystal. I know this is unhealthy, but since I'm at the bar, I might as well have a little bit of libation. Just a tad. There we go. Finish that on another day. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Cheers. Let me see. So let's continue with the article. This is the fragile mindset that takes body positivity from being a movement about happiness and acceptance to a movement that tells its followers just to do nothing. This is a feminist magazine who's telling you this. I would not take this from a men's magazine. This is women telling women this. Women telling women this. The magazine, Feminist Current. Feminist Current. Look it up yourself. What's the day of this article? I think it was in June 2020? 2022? Yes. June 5th, 2022. Feminist Current. Because some people would say I'm capping. Some people would say I'm not getting, I'm using some male ideology or men's magazine in order to make all this stuff up. No, this is women telling women this. Women telling women this. Look it up yourself. So, it's a woman telling on you. Just saying. So, with that in mind, we move on. So, here we are, as we said here. Let me see here. Right. I think. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is a perfect idea right here. I went a little too fast there. Sorry about that. I'm going to come back to it. While there are female equivalents to these wellness influencers, they often face harsh criticism from those who denounce their products. Claim that the body image promised by their products or programs is unattainable, or that their advice is fat-phobic or shaming in some way. Body positivity has stayed true to its roots. The fiercest opponents rallying around the issue of women's weight. This is where I part ways with body positivity. So chances are, this is an overweight woman who's writing this article. I don't have her picture, I don't have her number. But this is an overweight woman. She parts ways with body positivity. For every yogi or fitness equipment entrepreneur, there is someone who opposes the suggestion of changing or making progress. When Adele lost 100 pounds, because remember, she used to be the paragon. She used to be the matriarch of body positive women. She was a bigger girl, making it in a smaller girl's world in the music industry. Doing very well for herself. So when Adele lost 100 pounds, she faced backlash from fans who viewed it as a betrayal. Actress Rebel Wilson's weight loss was treated as toxic. Do you get the synergy here, guys? When a man asserts himself, he's considered toxic. There's toxic masculinity. When a woman wants to lose weight, she's considered toxic. Anybody who's made a way for themselves, who has a view that opposes feminism / fat acceptance / body positivity / body neutrality, they're seen as toxic. Because there's nothing else there's no other argument for them to grab onto, for which to forward. There isn't. Right. And again, it goes on. This is the fragile mindset that takes body positivity from being a movement about happiness and acceptance to a movement that tells its followers just to do nothing. Unlike men's efforts and self-improvement, women's concept of wellness isn't particularly physical. Most wellness lists read are for products that help women sleep, relax, feel good, or look good, and look good superficially. None of them advocate for fitness. Again, Most wellness lists I read are for I read it again. Most wellness lists I read are for products that help women sleep, relax, melatonin gummies and meditation apps, feel good, vibrators, or look good superficially, sheet masks. None of them advocate for fitness. Usually, most women take men's lead in terms of becoming fit. Usually they have a boyfriend, they usually have a personal trainer, you know, be it male or female, who pushes them towards a fitness journey, towards their fitness journey. More often than not, it's men. And usually the fitter women that are out there usually have, well, we can go towards, you know, but their heroes tend to be men, but now it's starting to become women. I think the fitness industry is starting to accept a lot more women these days. And again, it's, and a lot of women see see fitness heroes as heroes. And so we're starting to see a lot more women, women ideal and models and heroes and role models from the fitness industry these days, which is great. Which is I think it's fantastic and outstanding. I really hope we see more of that these days, because again, that is the tide. That is what stems the tide, because for the most part, the tide goes towards women being, again, as they said, goes towards women sleeping or relaxing or feeling good or looking good superficially. Never towards fitness. But now, with Peloton and all these, with Peloton and all these other different fitness, all these different fitness programs and fitness companies, women are starting to be catered to that much more, which should be the norm. That should be pushed a lot further, because I think it helps society in general. It keeps women out of hospitals. It keeps women fitter. It keeps them living longer lives. There it is. And it allows you to have a greater range of men to choose from. That's right. You may be strong. Yeah, okay, there may be the fringe of women who are too strong or too athletic, that look like, that have too much testosterone in their genealogy and in their muscles and in their fitness way. But again, they are still accepted. They are seen as much more acceptable to men than fatter women. They are. But again, we move on. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. Let me see if we have any more. If he's come back, yes, indeed. Kareem has said a what's up there. So we move on. Yes, indeed. So, criticism of body positivity have a lot in common with criticisms of wokeism. Oh, okay. Just as trigger warnings and safe spaces don't improve students' mental health, bending over backwards to accommodate body positive advocates doesn't actually make women healthier. That is a key statement. Let's read that again. Just as trigger warnings and safe spaces don't improve students' mental health, bending over backwards to accommodate body positivity advocates doesn't actually make women healthier. No. This is coming from a feminist article. I'm not reading any sort of toxic masculinity here. This is women writing for women. I made sure of that because I didn't want to enter the argument myself, because again, I would be seen as toxic and masculine. But it does nothing to help you body positivity. It does nothing. It helps with self-esteem. Okay, we'll give you that self-esteem thumbs up. But other than that, how far does self-esteem go? Okay, maybe, you live a life that's allows you to, be accepted by society. That's all well and good, but at the end of the day, what do you want, ladies? I mean, heterosexual women. Because again, this is a movement that tends to, not saying that all, tends to cater to the LGBTQ community. So, with that in mind, is it a help or a hindrance? Not to heterosexual women, no. Definitely not the heterosexual women. Because we all know men, for the most part, 80-90% of men do not accept women at that size, at over 200 pounds and above. We don't. We tend not to. The further up the ladder you go, the less chances you have with men, in general. Facts are facts. Nature is nature. That cannot be understated. That cannot be denied. This is not a men's movement, body positivity, fat acceptance, body neutrality. This is a female movement, asking men to accept them at any size. And we never signed on to that. Never did. Never did. Okay, we move on here. Body positivity advocates also ask educators to accommodate students. Edutopia, an education foundation, suggests displaying posters that discourage children from giving health advice and choosing books that don't overrepresent skinny characters. Okay, this is where things get really, really off the rails. This is when things get really... This is when things get really, really dicey. Because now, body positivity advocates are asking for their ideals, their movement to move into schools. So they're asking for those ideals to enter into school, to enter into the education system and say that women of any size is cool. So therefore, you should be making room for bigger women despite any health risks, any sort of health concerns. What can we say? Well, seriously, what can we say about that? I read on. Edutopia provides examples of body positivity looks, all of which have female authors, female main characters, a common plot, wherein young women experience a parent, doctor, or some other adult encouraging them to lose weight. The books don't end with physical transformation, but a transformation of the world. In other words, they want to make the world a fatter place. That's the end goal. That's the end game. Make the world a bigger place. Take the United States and bring it on tour to the rest of the world. Take those, again, the United States is not exactly the biggest country in the world. That title belongs to, I think, New Guinea, South Pacific countries. I think New Guinea and Samoa and those sort of countries. Those are where I say 60% of the women over there are overweight and obese. Like literally 60 to 70%. Black women, United States black women are the tip of the iceberg. You go out to Samoa, you go out to New Guinea, those places, 60 to 70% of women are overweight. Actually, the whole population tend to be obese because, again, they were, their diets weren't exactly the best of all time, and it took a toll to a point where I'm sure you have your fit individuals there, but most people tend to be overweight due to unhealthy diets, unfortunately. I raise a glass to my South Pacific brothers and sisters. I hope that you are on the way to fitness and on the way to wellness. But again, this is a slow process as is anything, and I wish you well in your fitness journey. But let's face facts. Not a good look. Not exactly, not the best of looks. If it looks good to you, it looks good to you, but most men don't see it as looking good. And here you have a feminist telling you it does. It's not agreeable. It's not an agreeable place to be. They're telling you this. So, we read on. The books don't end with physical transformation, but a transformational world, as I said. The young women learn to love themselves, and the people that in their lives learn to accept them as they are. The message of these books suggests to children that women should refuse to change, and self-improvement is the domain of men. Now, that's not... it's sort of, again, as she said, a bizarro world here. It's a bizarro world where she's literally saying, again, I read the sentence, the young women learn to love themselves and the people in their lives learn to accept them as they are. The message of these books suggests to children that women should refuse to change and self-improvement is the domain of men. So that is a anti-feminist ideal. Think about it. Body positivity, fat acceptance, body neutrality, movements that should be considered feminist. This woman considers non-feminist. Is against what should be. Where feminism should be pushed towards fitness and being your best and being the best self you can be and make yourself the fittest you can be. And not making it such a male-dominated area. And she ain't lying. She is not lying. I totally agree with that. I can sign up to that. That is one thing, that is one feminist ideal I can sign up for any day of the week. Any day of the week. Where we push towards women being their best selves, being their fittest selves. Where we push men towards being their best selves, being their fittest selves. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Live here on IG and YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, and comment. Sponsored by Talkdtalk.com, DONTALK.com. Fall, winter line out now. So there you are. There you have it. Let's go into this. Now, this is the serious part. The long arm of body positivity even reaches into healthcare. Consider health at every size. Hayes. This is something that body positive / fat acceptance / body neutrality movement has been pushing for years. That the health community has always pushed back on. Always pushed back on. Consider health at every size. Hayes, a healthcare model that researcher and body positivity advocate Lyndall Bacon says originated in the fat acceptance movement. Yes, Hayes claims that intuitive eating and joyful movement can replace diet and exercise. Let me repeat that. Hayes, or health at every size, claims that intuitive eating and joyful movement can replace diet and exercise. And weighing a lot doesn't cause diabetes or heart disease. What? Despite oodles, volumes, masses of empirical data to the contrary, Hayes falls against the grain to say weighing a lot doesn't cause diabetes or heart disease. And it's not a comorbidity case of COVID. Where time and time again, we have been warned that being overweight makes you a candidate for type 2 diabetes, makes you a candidate for heart attack and stroke, and is a comorbidity to COVID. Chances are, your relative or your family and friends, who I pray for, to whom I am very sorry for, let me say that, their sickness / trouble with COVID was not as a result of their dietary and exercise habits. Now again, there are those who were fit and strong and who died of COVID as well, but they had other complications as well. That goes without saying. Yes. Yes. But for the majority of people who were left to suffer such a negative fate? It's because of their lifestyle. It's because of their diet. It's because of their lack of exercise. Sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. But it's because of that. That was a main comorbidity of things. And that can't be papered over. That's what a lot of body positivity sweep under the rug. They sweep it right under the rug. They don't want to call it as it is. They don't see it as being a problem. But it is. It's one of those hidden gems of one's lack of healthy state. As it says here, body positivity advocates shut down conversations that are linked to obesity with COVID-19 deaths. I'm not talking out of my head. This is the article, a feminist article. Obesity can affect both sexes, but is more prevalent in women than men, and that gap widens every year. We have gone through the statistics here. I'm not lying. There it is, people. If you rely with me on YouTube, there it is. Let me make sure that I'm up on the screen here. Oh, let me make sure of that. Or else I've been doing it all the time. Oh, shoot. Let me go back to my browser. Thank you very much. I'll point it out. There it is. Do apologize. I hope that you were listening. I know you on Instagram were listening, but again, YouTube had to listen to it too. So, there it is, people. We're back now on Talk Talk Live. There are the obesity percentages of race by sex. This is by blackdemographics.com. Statistics for black people, by black people. RIPKS. But there it is. Black women are 55% obese. 55%. Over half of black women are obese. Hispanic women, over half of those women are obese. White women, Asian women, oh, they got the message. Well, not so much, well, white, yeah, to a certain extent. But Asians definitely got the message. They didn't want to be a part of that. They didn't want to be any part of that. None. They're doing Tai Chi. They're doing any sort of, well, I don't want to, no. No. I will not do that. I will not go down that road. I do apologize if I have insulted or offended any. Especially my Asian brothers and sisters. I love you. But they tend to be fitter. They tend to have got the message. You know who hasn't got the message? Our women. The African diaspora woman. She hasn't got the message. Especially in the developed world. Definitely not. Oh, no. No. Definitely not. And this is what we're dealing with here, people. Let's get back to that article. Now you can finally see it on YouTube. Yes, indeed. We're back. Let's read that again. Body positivity advocates shut down conversations that linked obesity with COVID-19 deaths. Obesity can be affected by both sexes, but is more prevalent in women than men, and that gap widens every year. I've just shown you the statistics. If we are to address this disparity between men's and women's health, we can't punish women for losing weight and ask for doctors not to weigh patients and not to point out when a woman's weight has become a health issue. That is what body positivity is doing. They're literally telling you, don't tell me what I need to hear. Tell me what I want to hear. Don't tell me what I need to hear. Tell me what I want to hear. Fantastic. I have to get this thing. We're going to be just on Instagram. We're just going to be fading out for just 1 second, but I will be jumping on with you again very, very soon. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. We'll be back in just a moment. I don't know why this is the case, but again, if you are here, please come back. Just come on back. We'll be back in just a second. We are back live. We are back live. We are back live on Instagram. Sorry about that, Instagram. I lost you there for a second. If you can come back to me, greatly appreciated. But on YouTube, you are still with me. You are hanging in. You are here, which is great to see. Which is great to see. But again, we continue with the topic of body positivity. Is it good for you? Is it good for you? From the literature I'm reading from, it's not. It definitely isn't. It's a lie. It's something that is meant to be a hindrance, not a help. To be a placebo in the vast problematic areas that and unhealthiness that plague women. That is, as they say here, a gap that's widening every year. Limiting our workouts to doing what feels good. We continue. Feels good deprives women of the sense of achievement that comes with testing your physical limits or following a diet that requires discipline, which men are encouraged to do. This feminist is saying, if you want... I love this article because what this feminist here is... I mean, let me get the name of this person. Let me get the name of this individual. And God love her. God absolutely love her. Shelby Kearns. Shelby, you're my type of feminist. Shelby, you are my type of feminist. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. Live on IG and YouTube. New location. Hope you enjoy. And we seem to have shorted out on IG for a second there, but we are back. I am going to rectify that problem in due course, so please bear with me and thank you for your patience. Sponsored by Talk. DUNTAL.com. Fall winter line out now. Oh, actually, well. Do look up DUNTALK.com. Fall winter line out now. Now here we are. Again, the point: our workouts are limited to what feels good and deprives the women the sense of achievement that comes with testing your physical limits or following a diet that requires discipline, which men are encouraged to do. You know how happy I am? Because if anybody knows me, I do day shifts at the gym sometimes. But you know how happy I am to see women, period? Again, get your mind out the gutter here. But you know how happy I am to see women get into the gym at any size, I repeat, any size, and work towards their better selves? Any size. I don't care if you're 600, 800 pounds. I don't care if you're 120. If you are making the effort to walk through gym doors and get yourself fit, I'm proud of you. Because you're bucking a trend. You're bucking a trend that is asking you to sit still, love yourself, eat yourself into a literal living coma, and die a much swifter death. Swift death. There's nothing else to say about it. In this article by Ms. Kearns, a feminist article in and of itself, it says it all. It literally says it all. So, again, women need to ask which parts of the body positivity are worth keeping in terms of reducing self-hatred and unhealthy obsessing over physical flaws, and which to leave behind. Inclusivity is not such a bad thing. It means advertises and product lines made for women of color, women and with disabilities, and other marginalized groups. I mean, again, body positivity has its positives. It does mean advertising lines for women of color who tend to be curvier, women with disabilities, other marginalized groups. Yes, that's where body positivity is okay with me and most men. It should be, because it is an all-inclusive movement. Nothing wrong with that from body positivity. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to advocate for it. When you see that inclusivity is not such a bad thing if it means advertisements and product lines made for women of color, women with disabilities, other marginalized groups, the LGBTQ, 2 plus, no, stop. It's great that way. It is great that way. That's where body positivity, fat acceptance, body neutrality, all these movements are great. They're great. But the problem lies here. But obesity, eating whatever you want, even that means overindulging in junk food and refusing to encourage women to exercise, does not help women. A staunch feminist, this is coming from the Feminist Current, a feminist article. It doesn't help women. Women telling women this is not healthy or helpful to you. And it doesn't see you as being the pinnacle of womanhood in a man's eyes. It doesn't. For the majority of men, to 80 to 90% of men, it doesn't. There is the fringe. Yes. Okay, great. Leslie's asking if I'm wearing a Kanye shirt. Yes. Because everybody makes mistakes. And everybody deserves second chances. And I believe this man has made a mistake. And we're talking about women in the weight again. Yes, we are. Well, remember, thank you, Leslie, for your comments. We haven't talked about women's weight in a while. And this is the time where people are becoming more sedentary as the fall winter hits, especially in the northern hemisphere. And it must be said, at this time, at this stage, where a lot of... This is the time, and what has inspired me by this is that this is the time where a lot of women, and where I say Madison Avenue, I say the TV market caters to women. I thank you for your comment there, Leslie. This is the time where TV caters to women to be sedentary, inactive, and okay with oneself at any weight, even though to a certain weight it is unhealthy. And if I have to send it out in the distance, trying to get women onto the right track, I will do so. I'll have to do so. And I know most men here are trying to do so themselves. They are. So, we move. Let me see. The body positivity movement needs new icons. Oh, thank you, Jesus. The body positivity movement needs new icons. Athletes, intelligent, successful women like Michelle Obama, those who have suffered adversity but rose above, and women with disabilities who are refusing to be invisible, for example. Ms. Kearns, you are absolutely correct. You're putting forward the wrong hero. Well, the net of heroes needs to be widened. Let's say that. Let me read that again. The body positive movement needs new icons. Athletes, intelligent, successful women like Michelle Obama, those who have suffered adversity but rose above, and women with disabilities who are refusing to be invisible, for example. That is the same for men. That is what men herald. There it is. We herald athletes. We herald intelligent, successful men like Barack Obama. Fill in the blanks. Those who have suffered adversity but rose above, like David Goggins. And men with disabilities who are refusing to be invisible, for example. Yes. How many of our disabled brethren, have we liked, subscribed to, advocated for on any social media platform? How many? Many. I want the same for women. Absolutely want the same for women. Absolutely. This is something I can sign on to wholeheartedly. Those who reach their physical limits, such as athletes, such as CrossFit individuals, such as bodybuilders, such as women in fitness, who have put themselves to the limit and look good doing it. Absolutely. Oh my God. I think the world will be a fitter and / better place. And it won't force a lot of people, especially in this country, onto the social safety net, having our taxpayers take care of their issues in terms of weight. Old lady was taught a lesson by women who spoke with their wallets. The message was implicit, but I'm here to make it clear. Stop talking down to us. We shouldn't need to be lied to and feel good about ourselves. There we go. Shelby Kearns, a freelance writer who lives in Oklahoma. Well done. I can sign up to that all day long. Well done. Shelby Kearns, fantastic article. Something that I adhere to. A feminist article that I can sign up to all day. It should be the case that we should be pushing for women who are great athletes. Lord knows the WNBA, Lord knows that women's soccer are pushing for it as well. They're pushing for it. And they're starting to reach markets, absolutely. And to that I salute them. I salute them. The road is long, but it leads to a better day. It leads to a better day. And I hope that ideal is pushed towards more women, where they could be strong, they could be fit, they could be their best selves, I think. But again, I'm just shouting in the wind, as they say. But let's move off to the other side here. Now, I caught a bit of this article here just at the end, and it's about the other side. I have to give the other side. I have to give the two sides to the argument. It's just the way I was, educated. You have to give both sides of the argument. And this article comes from the problem with body positivity. As long as doctors judge your looks, nothing will change. Written by your fat friend. She remained anonymous. Outstanding. She remained anonymous. Troy, how are you? I hope that someone didn't send you here. Hope all is well, my friend. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment. We are sponsored by Dun Talk, DUNTALK. Hope you like the new location. Hope you like the new digs. I like it. Hope you like it too. Emoji that thing if you like it. So, I'm going to wave to my man Troy here. Bang. So, yes. I'll read the last few paragraphs here from this article. Says by your fat friend. Again, that's the article writer. I guess she didn't want to, let herself be known. Loving your body is a fine goal, particularly for folks whose biggest body-related problems are clustered around self-esteem and a lack of self-love. Why wouldn't who wouldn't want to lay down arms in the battles so many of us wage against our own skin? Our bodies draw out the deep-seated biases of those who are around us as we enter into the room. Again, Kenya. I'm watching from Kenya. Wow. Okay. Thank you very much, my friend. He's watching from Kenya. Fantastic, sir. We're starting to reach over borders now. Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live from Kenya. Live from Kenya. Where are we at? Kinshasa? Just to let me know what city you're broadcasting. I think it's Kinshasa. Again, I could be wrong. Or Nairobi. I think it's Nairobi. Yes. Maybe it's Nairobi. You're on a safari, my friend? Oh, look at this. Man living a good life. Oh, good life. I raise my glass to you, sir. I hope you enjoy yourself in the motherland. But getting back to this here. Let me see. In the doctor's office that day, when his hands shrunk away from my wide and soft skin, he didn't care how much I loved myself or how confident I was. He's in the motherland of Africa, yes. Tell me where you are, sir. Tell me, Troy. Tell me where you indeed are. And I'll shout you out again. His bias overtook the both of us, so much so that he couldn't even meet my eyes, touch my skin, and hear me speak. And no amount of loving my curves would change that. You're in Nairobi. Okay, that's what I thought. You're in Nairobi. Hope you enjoy your trip, sir. Are you on safari? Do let me know. What you doing out there? Is it just a trip? Family trip? Do let me know. So, yeah. Because as I was reading from that little article, that paragraph there, yes. Okay, he could say that he loves you, indeed, but he'd be lying to you, to this individual, my fat self. Going to, oh, wow, Mombasa. Oh, nice. Woo, he's on that safari, boy. Trip of a lifetime, well done. I shouldn't be sleeping, but I'm watching Talk Talk Live. Fantastic. This is a topic for you, actually. Just a vacation. Fantastic. This is a topic for you, my friend, because I know you're one. It's impolite to point. I know you're one who advocates for our bigger sisters. To a certain extent, yes. But I know you advocate for our bigger sisters, so I'm just going to go in here. Okay, yes, indeed. Body positivity isn't in and of itself self-destructive, but it's far from the radical force so many of us seem to think it is. Indeed, body positivity seems to be fortifying the beauty standard with the added burden of an equally fickle health standard. Oh, fickle. Now we're fickle. One that continues to center on more privileged bodies, or bodies that were once not so privileged who worked themselves into a state of privilege. It's the American dream. It is the body dream. Oh boy. But as we continue here, nearly all of us will get sick, grow old, get fat, grapple with mental illness, or otherwise lose our tenuous grasp on such narrowly defined health at some point in our lives. And whether or not we love our bodies in times of ill health, we still deserve care, dignity, and trust. Absolutely you do. You absolutely do. Any patient that steps into any doctor's office deserves the best of health care. But sabotaging yourselves it's a form of self-sabotage. Anybody worth their salt in the medical community will tell you that. Yes, you have permission to love your body, and I hope you do. But so many of us need a whole lot more than that. We need providers who will prioritize their patients' care over their own biases. That's what doctors do. They prioritize your care. It's not a bias thing. It's prioritizing your care. Care? By telling you that you're morbidly obese, they're prioritizing your care. They care. Let's take out the middle word there. They're advocating for your care. They care. They're telling you the truth because they care. They have a Hippocratic oath to you, stating that they care. They want you to live a longer life. However, anything to coddle, cajole, and make you feel at ease is what you're looking for. And that's not, a doctor can't provide that for you. He just can't. He can't. If he is going to give you the best of healthcare, he cannot tell you, you know what, this overweight set of ideals is good on you. It looks great on you. He can't do that. He wouldn't be doing his job. He wouldn't be living up to his Hippocratic oath if he did that. He wouldn't. It's like the old saying, you rather a pretty lie than the ugly truth. Let me say that again. You rather the pretty lie than the ugly truth. And that's not a doctor's job. A doctor is not here to give you a pretty lie. It's not his job. He can be sued for malpractice if he gave you a pretty lie. Take it from me. He can be sued for malpractice by giving you a pretty lie. To be a body positive doctor. He'd be telling you, after a certain weight, it's unhealthy. It just is, especially for women. It's an unhealthy weight. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it. I know. You can see it here on Talk Live. What is considered obese for a woman? Let's look it up. Let's see. This is from the CDC. If you're okay, so let's see. This is according to height, of course. Here we go. As we say, if you are 203 pounds or more, you're considered obese. If a lady, any lady of any size, is weighed over 200 pounds or more, unless she's of a certain height, of course, if she's 6 feet or above. But that's what, a 1 to 5% of the population? But anyways, let's go on. If you can see it live on Talk Live right here. I'm looking at it. 169 to 200 pounds is considered overweight. The sweet spot is when you're 125 to 168 pounds. Yes, that's the sweet spot. That's the healthy weight. This is from the CDC. Look it up yourself. This ain't a fallacy. This is not a conspiracy. We're not here to body shame. This is what is considered a healthy weight. Yes. Let's go there. Let me move on here. And that's for 5, let me see. Yeah. 125 to 168 pounds is considered the sweet spot. It is the 18 to 24.9 on BMI. It is considered a healthy weight. You can play around with that depending on your height. But for a 5'9" woman, that's what's considered healthy. And you can say, oh, well, I'm black and I have curves and this and this and that. Well, okay, fine. We'll play around with it. Sure. You can go to 170. We'll give you that. 180, you're pushing it. 190, you're definitely pushing it. 200? Ooh. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. 203 pounds or more is 30 plus on the BMI, and you're considered obese. If you are 200 pounds or more, you're in the danger zone. You're in the danger. I wish I had the sound effect. R.I.P. Godfather. I wish yeah, you are in the danger zone. That's you. That's you. It's different for a man. 203 pounds on a man looks different. It looks different. On a lady, it looks well different. But again, we're asked to accept said ideals. That we want women to be 203 pounds and more sexy. And you'll find your men, yes, of course, you'll find them on the fringe. You'll find your feeders. You'll find your women your men or women. Hey, I'm not judging. You'll find your men and women who are your fans at that weight. Yes, absolutely. But usually those fans tend to, well, I don't have to tell you what their fans are. I'm not here to hate. I'm just telling you facts. 275 pounds or more, 71 pounds or more, you're considered a class 3 obese woman. Class 3. Again, the show, is body positivity good for you? We just read an article from Ms. Kearns and it's a great article. Fantastic article. Feminist Current. It's a fantastic article. It really, really is. Let me see if there's anything on the YouTube line here. Nope. We're good to go. And we're still recording. Fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But it shows you right there. It shows you what we are dealing with. And we can't hide it enough. I mean, Kevin Samuels said it himself. He said it himself that you weigh more than a man because the average size of a man is about 175 pounds. Well, we should be. The healthy weight of a man is about 175 pounds. The healthy weight's about 175. 175, 180, 190, around there. That's a healthy weight for a man. For an average man. Not for a woman. No. And that's why I was always commenting saying you weigh more than a man at his size, at his average size. When you're tipping the scales at about 169 and above. And that's when you limit yourself. You do. You do. What's up, Golden Arm? Hope you are well, sir. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Hope you like the new set. Haha. All right. Speaking of the Godfather himself, here he is. About to give him the floor right now, and we are on a show that was done I think it's a 2020 show. It was called Overweight and Alone. Yes, it was streamed about a year ago. And he was speaking to women who thought, I mean, again, you can find your men at this size, but you can't find high value men at this size. You can't. Just can't. It's not happening. It isn't. Sorry. You're out of luck. And if you do, and if you can't find a high value man, usually it's from your skinnier days, and once he's, if he likes you at that size, hey, all the power to you. I'm all about staying in families. But if he doesn't, and he's warned you, guess what? If he finds someone new, he's finding someone skinnier. He's finding someone more shapely. Well, I wouldn't say shapely. More svelte. Much more fitter. If that is proper English. And much more to the liking of most men, who he would be considered the top 20% of men, because he worked himself to make himself the top 20 of the top 20 of women, because he worked himself to be the top 20 of men. But don't take my word for it. Here we go. Kevin Samuels on the scene, and he's going to explain to you now what it's all about. Tell him.
I'm a PhD.
Your PhDs and everything else don't matter. We don't care about your money. We don't care about your degrees. Because the older you get, the less your money and your degrees matter anyway. First off, it ain't like we can spend it and leave it to us. And it's time to start having real hardcore conversations. Because many women feel like that it's just a man's responsibility to accept you as you are, come as you are. No. And with the rise of girl-girl relationships, you're starting to see something happen around this country, and especially in our community. So this is for the older women tonight. Overweight equals alone. Why do I say that? Well, I'm out here in LA. And I'm out here in LA, and I've been walking around town all day, and I'll tell you one thing I have not seen. I have not seen one 300-pound black woman. I'm in Beverly Hills. I have not seen one 300-pound. I have not seen one 250-pound black woman. Matter of fact, I haven't seen a black woman that looked like she was over 160 pounds. And what else did I notice? That the black women I saw were with men. You want to have a certain standard of life, a certain quality of life, it's going to have to come off of our dime, because we know your money ain't ours. And a man is not going to accept overweight women. Now, Roxy made a video basically doubling down on the fact that the BMI, your body mass index, and she said it very well. Yeah, I heard some of these women talking about, body fat and this and that, not taking into consideration. Said, I'm sorry, but the BMI is accurate. And the only way it's not accurate is if you are an elite level athlete, like a former Miss Olympia. So all you women, you communications majors who think just because you're in the gym, no, body mass index matters to you too. And anything, and I'm going to try to get a hold of the study she was talking about. Where they had a black men and white men, and they just flashed them different pictures of women. And across the board, black men and white men all wanted women that were on the thin side. 18 BMI to 24.9 average.
There it is. I just quoted it, and he just said it. I set it up, and he knocked it down. R.I.P. Godfather. I set it up, he knocked it down. The man said it himself. Most men, black, white, Asian, Indian, Arabic, Hispanic, Latinx, they all want women who are in the 18 to 24.9 BMI, who are in that 125 to 160 odd weight range. That's the sweet spot. And again, you can have body positivity all you want, you can feel good all you want, but I guess here's the thing, and this includes my girl Lizzo. You're not going to have to pick a litter of men. You will not. You can pay for one. Sure. But will he stay for you? I don't know. Chances are no. Unless he truly loves obese / overweight women. He truly loves them that way. And those men are in the distinct minority. 5 to 10% of men tops. I cannot say it enough. if there's something that can be grasped from this, ladies, and I know, listen, you can criticize me all you want at the end of the day, but you don't have my work ethic. You don't have my drive, especially in the gym. You do not. Because I will work my ass off. I will run my ass off. And if you see anybody who knows me, they know that's the case. And I have been that smaller person. Let me say this. For men, it's a different standard to women. Yes, they don't like certain men. They only take certain men of a certain size and capacity. But at the end of the day, if you keep yourself fit, if you keep yourself financially fit, if you have game for yourself, if you have some sort of self-esteem and are a good person deep down, that's all you need. That's all you need, especially with women. Especially with, oh my God, please. And again, not to say that fat women can't find men. Yes, but can you find men to stay with you? Can you find high value men? That's the question. Kevin answered your question. He did. R.I.P. Godfather. He spoke from the grave. He literally told you 18 to 24 BMI. 125, 169, that's the limit. That's all we're going. That's the sweet spot. That is the sweetest spot. And for you to say different, and for you to ask us to accept that, for you to tell us that we should accept body positivity and ladies of that certain size, sorry, it ain't happening. It's a deal we've never signed on to. Never signed on to that. Never did sign on to that. Again, ladies. For your health, for your dating prospects, for your betterment of life. Take it from me. Listen to me. You may not have liked the tone of Kevin, but he was telling you the truth. You may not like the tone of many from the manosphere, of many from the red pill from the red pill group, of many of men, period. We were telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. We will not take you at any size. We won't. Men will not. We never signed up for it. We never co-signed on it. And you will find your feeders. You will find those who are your fans, both inside and outside of pornography. Yeah, I said it. You'll find your fans. But that's not the majority of men. Definitely not. That's not nature at work. Definitely not. That's your ideal nature, yes, but it's not real nature. Kevin, please.
Black men don't want these cartoonish waist training, crazy looking things. Black men don't want women that they can't move around. Ladies, it's time to decide. What do you want? You want to be overweight, or do you want to be with somebody?
There it is. The ultimate question. Ladies, do you want to be overweight or with somebody? Chances are, if you want to be with somebody, you will get into shape. If you want to be held in high esteem, you will get into shape. You'll watch your weight. You'll watch your weight. If you want to be the leader of the new school, which is fitness, ultimate fitness are for women too, you will get yourself into shape. This coming from a feminist. You will get yourself into shape. Because what Madison Avenue, what advertisers, what corporations are telling you is there to satiate you. It's there to lull you into a false sense of security. Very false sense. Nothing else I can say about it. Us men, we've already got the memo. We realize that our overweight selves aren't our best selves. And it's up to us to make the choice to either get in shape or live with our choices. Deal with the consequences. It's black and white. You're creating the gray with this body positivity. You're creating the gray area with this false sense of security. With this fat acceptance. With this body neutrality. It's all well good to feel good. Hey, that goes without saying, but if you really want what you want, if you really want society to bend to your will, then you are out of your mind. If you had those same standards for men, men would understand. We understand that we can't get on like this. We can't do this. We know that. We've got to realize in one day, again, men vote with their feet more than any other. And it's not going to get worse. If you push education of body positivity in the schools, guess what? It's only going to get worse. It will not get better. Because in no patriarchal society is body positivity advocated, pushed. It isn't. It is not. In Africa, in Asia, in Eastern Europe, in South America, hell, in Central America. In patriarchal societies, body positivity, to a certain extent, is a fringe or a myth ideal, but it's not one to be strived for. And everybody gets the message. That's why most of those societies tend to be fitter. There it is. They tend to be fitter.
See, Obsidian made a good point that many of you women, older women, want it both ways. You want men to accept you the way you are, but in order for men to accept that you are the weaker vessel and we are to protect the body, you are going to need to admit that you are not my equal. And this is, I think, as good a time as any. If you're an older woman, it is time for you to start admitting. I want to late night confession. Start up talking about where you are deficient. Because the notion that you can still keep moving like you did in your early 20s, in your late 30s and 40s, is laughable. If you want a partner, you're going to have to start owning up to your rap sheet. And moving accordingly. Not just acting like you got all the time in the world, all the choices in the world, like there's no downside to being you. No, ma. But I will say this, where are the lights at on this Joker?
Kevin, God bless you. And there it is. I'm going to sum it up this way. We're going to go to our conclusions. Not only does body positivity not good for you health-wise, but body positivity is not good for you in terms of mating, in terms of dating, in terms of marriage, in terms of relationships. It's not good for you. It just doesn't help you out. It doesn't. It doesn't. For the most part, it doesn't. Most of society won't accept it. It won't. It may be good for self-esteem. All the power to you. But if you're asking a man to sign on to that for the long term, he won't. Especially if you're heterosexual. If you are LGBTQ plus, but you know, do what floats your boat. But in this world, in the heterosexual world, hell no, it ain't working. Unless you get to the sweet spot, it ain't gonna work. The further out you go, the further up your weight goes, the greater your chance of, as Kevin said, ending up alone. So if you do it for yourself, there are two reasons why it's better to get healthy. For yourself, in terms of living longer lives, and secondly, in order to increase your prospects with men. There it is. To increase your prospects with men. Hell, even for a guy like me, I realize the fitter I get, the better I get, the more acceptable I am with women. Yes, there's a financial component. Absolutely. There's a game component. Absolutely. There's a height component. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. All these things I have, and I'm not perfect, but guess what? I'm trying. I will not sit. I will not relax. I will not relent. I was not that man, then I was that man. I've tasted the sweet. Oh, Lord, I tasted the sweet. Tasted the sweet. And I still am. I'm an okay looking dude. But I realized that there's a limit to my good looks. Yes, I'll vouch for myself. There's a limit to my good looks, and that comes with increased weight. There's a limit. And women have told us that. You women have told us that. Body positive women have told us that. There's a limit. Lizzo herself, unbelievably, has told us that. Oh my God. Anyway. And take it from the men. We're telling you now. There's a limit. 125 to 169. There's a limit. No matter how many books, no matter how many novels, no matter how much teaching, no matter how much education, it doesn't outclass nature and natural selection. That never outclass that. The fitter you are, the better you look, the better chance you have with men. Modern women aside, 304s aside, that's nature at work. And for us, and for you, and for people to think and trick us differently, that's a fallacy. And we've got to come to grips with that, ladies. We really, 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 really do. We do. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on the topic of if body positivity is good for you. It may help the mind, it may satiate the mind, but overall, it doesn't help, it hurts. Ladies. It doesn't help, it hurts. And my wish for you, be happy at any side, but realize where you end up if you carry things too far. If you buy in too much to the whole idea. Especially if you are heterosexual. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Sponsored by DoneTalk.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I will see you again Let me get back to the full cam here. I will see you again on Sunday because on Thursday I have a few matters to attend to. And that will deter me from making any sort of comment here. I have to get that sign into chat deal, so I have to do that over time. Here on thing. Actually, there are a few new things coming out at the moment. So again, we will keep advocating. We'll keep moving. There are certain changes to the set as we've seen, and more changes to come. You'll see more of my social media footprint happening soon. We are in the way of doing that. I just haven't had time because duty calls. So. But that will be soon in the offing as we move into mid to late November and on into the Christmas season. So again, look out for that. And our next show will be on Sunday. Will be Sunday night. So look out for that as well. And I thank you for joining me. We had people from Kenya. We had people from Canada. We had people from the States jumping in, which is fantastic. And we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So like, subscribe, comment. We finally got this thing going up on YouTube. So the live shows will be going up on YouTube as soon as this is done. But again, we're always improving, building as we fly, and moving on to make things a lot more user friendly for you. And it's all about compound interest. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. It is now 10 o'clock, and I'm going to sign off for now. And look forward to seeing you on Sunday night. Sponsored by DunTalk. DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment, on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And if you talk the talk, walk the walk, as I do in my normal life. So I'm going to sign off with you here on Instagram first. Thank you for joining me.